Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
I'm so sorry. I got stuck in traffic coming here, so I'm almost in the office, but just give me 2 minutes to park and then I'll start. Okay, so we have about 13 people. There's been some changes. I'm going to send out, we are going to send out an email to everyone so you guys are all aware. I just want you guys to really be very diligent with your Dotloop. The Real Estate Commission obviously now is out and auditing files. We recently had them reach out asking for a specific file for an agent. So they can call and say, hey, send me Adona Brahimi, 123 Main Avenue, Bayonne file, the fully completed file. They also asked for the CO. So as you guys know, we didn't really have that as a required document on your Dotloop, and now they're asking for the CO. We're going to make that a required document for sales and rentals. Now you're going to say, well, Adona, what happens if, I get a rental and the tenant doesn't move 2 months from now? Now I have to wait for my payment. It's going to be, we're going to look at it case by case. I'm going to have a training with the admin so they're aware what to do. But now just remember that the CO is a requirement. You have to upload it because the Real Estate Commission is asking for it. So if they're going to audit your file, make sure you have that. There are some forms that I've been noticing, and I go over this every Tuesday and every meeting, is seller disclosure and the lead paint. Just so you guys know, a lot of these changes that happen, it's not a RE/MAX select change, it's the state law. You guys are with us. We're your sponsoring broker, so we have to make sure you guys are staying in compliance. I can't even tell you what the fines will be like if you don't have these documents. The seller disclosure, we're going to go over with the listing side first. If you're the listing agent, your seller disclosure should be filled out by your seller at the time they're signing the listing. Make it a habit where that's part of your listing package. It's so much easier to get that completed during that time than after the fact. Same thing with the lead paint. You want to make sure that they're completing it. Don't just assume they know where to sign or initial. They're hiring you as an experienced agent to guide them how to complete it. Obviously, you can't fill it out for them, but if somebody can't do it, online through Dotloop, you can show them in person, drop it off, have them fill it out. Now, we can't tell them how to answer each questions. If some questions on the seller disclosure doesn't have an unknown box, if your seller went and created their own little box and checked unknown, that's fine. We can't tell them that they can't do it, but they can't leave them blank. Each question has to have yes, no, unknown next to it. Okay, they're looking at, this is what the Real Estate Commission is looking at it. You also have to make sure you're using the new version. On Dotloop, we have the new version, so you're okay if you're using our version. If you have your own files that you have created in the past, make sure you update them. Because if you have, like, let's say Adona's sale document and I never updated my seller disclosure, I'm probably using the wrong one. How do you know if it's the new version or the old version? At the bottom, it should say 02/2024, or make sure it has the flood risk section. If it has the flood risk, you're using the correct one. Now, once, as the listing agent, you're supposed to upload that seller disclosure and lead paint on your MLS, okay? They still have not sent us notifications saying that they're going to fine you if you don't. But if you have somebody submitting offers, you should write under agent remarks that they must include the seller disclosure and lead paint. So it is easier if you upload it, because then way you don't have to keep sending it to every single person that wants to submit an offer. It's there. It's much easier for you. Now, if I was you, I would not have my seller sign an offer without the seller disclosure and lead paint being included with that offer. Okay? You're protecting yourself and your seller by getting that signed. It's so much harder to get it signed after the fact. And even you might be saying, well, shouldn't it be the buyer agent responsibility? You will both be at fault for not getting this signed. Your seller should not get under contract without the buyer agreeing to this, whatever was provided on the seller disclosure. We've had some cases where the buyer, we went after the fact, the buyer said, oh, I didn't see that they had a leak in 2014. I would not have bought this house. I would not have made this offer if I had known this, or there's issues with plumbing or the roof or whatever it is. So save yourself time. It's very important. You know, it is our responsibility as a real estate agent to make sure we bring these issues to our client. Now, if you're on the buyer side, if the listing agent did not upload the seller disclosure and lead paint, you should get that before your buyer submits an offer. Can you submit an offer without it? Yes, they do allow that, but your client should not get under contract without having the seller disclosure. And of course, if the lead paint is required, you know, if the home is built after, 1978, then obviously you don't need it. But you know, you want to make sure that you also have on the buyer side, you get that from the listing agent. Now, don't just take it from them, MLS, upload and send it. Review it. Make sure there's nothing there that your client should be aware of. Make sure that it is the correct version. Now, what happens if the other realtor doesn't really comply? You have to let your manager know, and then we'll notify their broker. It's a state law. At least we have it in writing that we requested this in writing, and then you save it on your Dotloop. It's so much harder. You're not going to be safe by after closing, you email their broker saying, hey, we don't have it. That's not really going to save you because it's after the fact. You had your client purchase a home without having those forms on Dotloop. Do you guys have any questions?
Yeah, can we make it a condition of like say they don't have it, you want to make, sorry, it's my dog. If you want to make an offer, but they don't have it yet and you want to get in there so we don't lose it, you know, you get agreed upon price, but you make a condition of attorney review that you're not going out until you see that seller's disclosure. And at that point, if it's bad, obviously people get back out.
That is correct. You can make it a condition. If you're on the listing side, I would tell, like right now I'm helping an agent with multiple offers. I told her to write on the MLS, in order for your offer to be submitted to the seller, you must include the contract of sale, pre-approval, proof of funds, seller disclosure, and lead paint. You have to put that together. And whoever sent me their offers and they didn't include those, I reply back saying, hey, your file is not complete. Please resend it with the 2 documents, because it's going to save you time too as the listing agent. You don't want to chase them after. And then if you're on the buyer's side, and if it's not on the MLS, you have to ask them. So if somebody had a question saying, let's see, when it is in a state of bank-owned property, they never fill it out, they just cross it out. Is that acceptable? You should really encourage, if it's in a state of bank or bank-owned, I'm assuming that's what you meant. Even if it's in a state, they can just check unknown, 2 questions. Flood risk section, just so you guys know, regardless if they live there or not, they have to check on flood maps to see if the property is in a flood zone. If they have a mortgage on the property, they can, they'll know if they're on the flood zone, because no mortgage lender will really give you a mortgage without getting flood insurance. Now, if the property was paid off and if it's in a flood zone, you should guide them like, okay, here's the 2 websites. There's flood maps that you can check to see if the property is on a flood risk. Now, if the seller's on shore and you're on shore, you can always put on your MLS saying for the buyer's agent to do their due diligence to double check if you're going to check mark that it is in the flood zone or not. You should always do your due diligence. But, you know, if somebody specifically does not want a property on a flood zone and you say no, you know, can the buyer come back and, you know, file complaints or lawsuits because now they're required to get flood insurance? Possibly, yes.
Oftentimes it
one.
says this property is not, this information is not verified. So they'll just check anything off. And also, can't we as Remax offices make a file of all the required documents that they used to have? Instead of just going through transaction desk and picking out each and every individual file?
Which office are you with?
Parkland, Florida.
Okay, so you joined too early. So this is just for New Jersey, by the way. I'm so sorry.
Ah, okay.
The training for you guys is at 10.
I thought it was both for each of us, but okay. But
I am sorry. No, this
good
is just
question
for New
anyway.
Jersey.
Okay,
It's a
all
good
right.
question, but in New Jersey, we do have them for each transaction that you create. We'll have the required documents that you need to get signed.
Okay, we need that in Florida, but
Yeah.
see you at 10. Going back
See
to
you at
bed.
10.
No, I'm only kidding.
Yes.
Bye.
Yeah, so if you are from another state besides New Jersey, obviously this does not apply. Different laws in Florida than in New Jersey. This is
No, they're
just for
pretty
New
similar.
Jersey. And we do need to make sure each Dotloop, when you're creating a file, has the required documents. It's going to be harder for you if you just went and did not pick out a loop and then you just went under templates and adding files. You're probably going to miss required documents. But if you go and open a buyer loop or a listing loop, you'll have all the required documents that you do need. And I just want you guys to know that it's not the admin when they start asking you if you have closings coming up and they ask you for a copy of the CO, just so you know, it's because they've been advised to request that from you guys, and you have to make sure you get it. If you've never done COs for rentals, I hope you have, but if you didn't, now it is a time to do it. You should go look when you have time, go review your loops, make sure you complete as much as you can. You probably have emails with PDF files that you have not uploaded on Dotloop. You should do it. It's better to have more than less. And then also the sometimes having this information on the buyer side, like a buyer attorney, title company, mortgage company, it's really important. We will never call them without your permission. So it's so much easier if you guys just add them from the beginning. Like now I'm dealing with the real estate commission, they're just randomly, there's nothing happening. They're just randomly picked one transaction. And of course, the agent did not have the CO for a rental, and now we're waiting for the next step, and I will let you guys know how that plays out, so that way you can prevent that from happening to you. If you're on the buyer side, just make sure, please. We've had some seller disclosures that were missing, like only the first page was filled out and most of the questions were left blank. That's really not acceptable. And now, their say is, well, you didn't bring this up during the transaction. I'm not going to have my seller and alter the seller disclosure. So again, now you just had your buyer sign something that was not filled out completely. Our clients trust us. If something were to happen, let's say they left the plumbing blank and maybe there was something wrong, they didn't want to disclose it, and now the buyer has an issue, they're going to come to you. You allowed them to sign something and close without really reviewing it. And, sellers and buyers attorneys don't really care about the seller disclosure. At least for now, they don't ask you to send. Maybe some attorneys have asked, but it's not like a traditional thing where they ask you like, oh, send me the seller disclosure. So it's really our responsibility to make sure that it is done. And then for rentals, I know I'm going back and forth. For rentals, make sure if those properties were built prior to 1978, you have to check with the town to see if a lead paint inspection will be required. You want to make sure you get that done as well. I know rentals are supposed to be very quick and easy, but you have to follow the law. It has changed. And then if you guys have questions, let me see if there's questions on the chat. Many attorney ask for the CO during attorney review. CO? Well, the CO is usually not done till closing. I know some lenders require the CO. I know some attorneys require the CO before you schedule the closing.
Sorry,
The
I mean,
problem was,
what I mean is this smoke cert, sorry.
yes. So same thing. Some towns may not require CO, but they do the smoke certificate. So either or should be uploaded on the MLS. We didn't require that document to pay you, so now we're requiring. So you might have it on your email, because usually at least for the sale transaction, you probably have a copy. But now it's going to be required for you to upload it on Dotloop. And then just to go over really quick, because I had a few questions on rentals for commission. Just so you know, it's business as usual. Your owner of the property can still request that the tenant pays the 1-month broker fee. Just make sure you have the cooperating broker agreement signed, right? Especially if you're on the tenant side, because let's say you have a tenant looking at a property, they put an application. I know most of the time agents are acting in good faith, but will you get one agent that will say, well, 1-month broker fee was just due to the landlord, you got to get another payment from your tenant? Possibly. So when you're submitting an application, you want to attach the cooperating broker agreement that says that you're splitting the commission 50-50, the 1-month broker fee. You guys look a little confused. Ask questions. There's no wrong questions. Okay. And then just remember, most of the MLSs are not requesting the listing agreements. It does not mean that you should not have your broker manager sign it. We need to have it in file. Technically, you're not supposed to list a property on the MLS without your broker's signature. The only exception is Hudson MLS. They'll allow either the listing agent or the manager to sign. It doesn't require both. Every other MLS has the broker manager signature and the listing agent. So just because they're not requesting the document, it should not be, let's say the real estate commission now calls me, and Janine, you're showing up on my screen, so I'm going to call on you. Let's just say they say, oh, Donna, Janine has 12 Main Street, Westfield property for sale. Send me your listing agreement. And now Janine signed it. Her seller signed it, but Marilyn did not, or Rob did not sign it. That's not incomplete. Now you listed something illegally because the broker never approved it. So please make sure when you're sending it to your seller to sign, send it to your broker manager at the same time. They should not be different dates. Your seller and your manager. So I've signed listings when the agent was getting paid. So now you have a client that signed, let's say November, and I'm signing end of January. And your property was listed back then. So just please make sure, the real estate commission is out. I'm sure this is just the beginning. They could just show up at the office. They see you. They're gonna be like, hey, Janine, open up your Dotloop and let me just see some of your transactions. And then they have a list of what you've closed, or even something that you have under contract. So you want to make sure that you stay in compliance with your paperwork.
Hey, Adona, can I ask a question? It's Randy.
Yes. Hi, Randy.
Hey, how's it going? So in regards to
Good.
your CO requirement to be uploaded, let's say it's a rental, correct, that I collected commissions on January 1st, but the tenant doesn't move until February 1st. And that's technically when the owner needs to provide down by the tenant. Does our check get held up for a month until that gets provided?
No, so that's why I said it's going to be case by case. The admins will be
Case by
trained.
case, okay.
And yep, case by case. So, but you just have to make sure that you do upload it, because then if you don't follow up and you upload it, then the next time your check will be held. Because at the end of the day, Rob Lazar is the broker of record. We have to make sure that we stay in compliance. But we're
Okay.
not going to hold up your check. Sometimes your tenant is not moving, moving in 2 months from now. It doesn't mean
Exactly.
that like you're not going to get paid.
Exactly. Okay, I just wanted to clarify that, but thank you for answering that.
You're welcome. Anyone else have questions?
Yeah, I have a good scenario for you, Robert.
Yes.
All right,
Hi,
so I
Robert.
did a rental in August. Okay, and this is a repeat customer of mine. Old Victorian house. I'm bringing them for reasons. It's got those old wood windows with the chains and all that. So anyway, got this. Well, applied for the CO. I handled everything. Got my painter and painted the apartment. Smokes, carbon, fire extinguisher, blah 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 blah. Everything passed. He went to one window and opened it up, and it didn't stay up, so it failed. So I had numerous texts and conversations with my client, but I do have a text going, "Hey, Mark, these windows can't be fixed. They're just these old ones. Just give me the measurements because it's in his house. It's a 2-family owner occupied. I'll get you a new window, around $350 installed." I have numerous texts even saying, "Look, I don't want you to get fined because we have an open CO, tenants in there, and we need to fix that window." And he's just kind of keeps blowing it off. And I know why he blew it off, because of money issues. But anyway, I have it documented of me chasing him around, trying to get him to give me the measurements, tell him we're going to get fined. I got to close out that permit, but I'm not going to pay for a new window myself. And it just kind of died there. I just let it go.
So I would, if I was you, I would just upload all those files on my Dotloop.
Okay. All right.
And if you don't think you might remember what you did 6 years from now, I would just write myself a little summary and upload it on your Dotloop.
Well, 6 years from now, I'll be in Key West, so they can do whatever they want to me.
I'm just
Alright.
saying,
I
because
know,
they
I
do
know.
have the right
I know.
to go and look at files as far as 6 years. So if you're not going to remember this story, I would just write a little something quick and upload
Well,
it.
I'll just print out my text and load that on Dotloop.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Yes. So another thing is, be very cautious when you're referring people to your landlords and sellers to get something fixed. You should not really be in the middle of their communicating. So like, let's say, for Robert's scenario that he just shared, let's say he referred a window company to him. He should not be involved. He should not get the estimate. It should go directly to the owner, and then the owner shares it to him. You should not be in the middle. Okay? That's another thing I just learned from the real estate commission. So if just try to stay in your lane, you refer them, and then stay out of it. Okay? The owner or the seller should be sending you the estimates. Your name should not be on that email. Just try to, we're real estate agents. That's it. I know they're throwing a lot of things at us, but business is business, and it's true. We're just real estate licensees, and we should not get involved to see, oh, this will only cost you $20, or we can just be the source to the source. That's it. And not be the one to quote anything like how much this will cost you or anything like that. Anyone else have anything else that they would like to ask, share? Let me see. Regarding rental commissions, if the landlord signs that they will pay half a month, can they renegotiate it when they get a tenant? Angie, I don't know if you can speak up, but can you just, I feel like I know what you're asking, but it would be helpful if you can just explain what you want to know. Like if they're willing to pay you half a commission, right, on the listing side, but then you get a tenant that pays 1 month. Is that what you're saying? If you have a landlord that says, I'm paying the listing side, and now you are disclosing that only half a month is due from the tenant, you shouldn't really be, you can't change that. But if if I was going to get a listing, a rental listing, I would tell my landlord, nothing in writing, but I would say, look, you know, it's business as usual. You can still request that the tenant pays 1 month broker fee. However, the laws have changed. You might have a tenant that only has half a month to pay their agent, the tenant agent. Now, are you willing to pay half a month if we end up getting a really great candidate that for your apartment or home, but they can only afford half the rent? Would you be open to paying my half portion? So that way they can you have that kind of open conversation. You can also let them know if they say, nope, I'm not paying a penny. If somebody wants my home, they have to pay 1 month broker fee. You're going to tell them, okay, how would you like me to handle those that only can afford half a month rent, right? And then if they say, I don't want to see them, I don't care if they have an 800 credit score, you want to get that in writing and signed by the owner. That's the only way. You can't just, if they tell you verbally saying, don't send me anything that only has half a month, get that in writing. Otherwise, you have to send it to him. Let's see. All right, she can't get unmuted. I'm not sure if I answered your question, but I hope I did.
Can I, this is Irene, if I can speak. That's
Hi.
why it seems high with renters. It seems like you absolutely should get your half covered by the landlord and offer it as split. Or else, even if you say tenant pays full commission, then what you're saying is then even though they're collecting the full commission, you have to send what do you call that, supplement or
The
whatever.
cooperating, yeah, the
Yeah, that says
cooperating compensation.
that they will pay you when they collect the full.
So no, so technically you as the landlord agent, that's your requirement for them to send the application. The 1 month broker fee is technically due to Remax Select. So as the tenant's agent, you want to get the cooperating broker compensation agreement signed, saying that you and I are going to split it.
All right, so when you say that the tenant pays, you have to do those cooperating
Correct.
all the time. Okay,
Correct.
all right.
For the most part, it's business as usual. Like if you represent a tenant and you're submitting an application for them, and let's say the rent is 2,000, you're asking them to get 1,000 payable to the other brokerage and 1,000 payable to Remax Select. For the most part, that's how we usually do it. But technically, by law, it says the full 2,000 is due to Remax Select. It used to be like that 2 years ago. And then we are the ones who wrote the half a month to the other side. So just continue doing what you have been doing all along. Nothing has really changed, but you should advise your landlords that, the law did change. Don't make them feel like nothing has changed when they have. They should be aware of different scenarios that might come up.
Okay, thanks. But then, all right, but then again, just to go back to her other original questions, to be able to change a landlord who said he'd pay half a fee and say they're on for a long time because they're going through a winter market and holiday market and they're sitting vacant. If you at that point are willing to take less, then that would be written between you and the landlord?
Correct.
Okay,
Donna, this is,
thanks.
You're welcome.
how are we handling the MLS fees, the minus 200 or whatever it is, now that we're not spelling it out on listings?
Yes, so if you can at Remax Select, we're still okay with you guys taking a listing fee. Now, when somebody calls you for your listing and they say, is seller cooperating with the buyer's agent, you shouldn't just reply yes, 2% or 1%. You need to spell out what exactly it is. If it's 2% minus 200, that's what you're going to say, from the beginning. And Now, if somebody really, I know some brokerages are not collecting them, they don't want to pay. Now, if you get an excellent offer, like something that's going to be really good for your seller, are you going to let that offer go for $100, $200? You should rethink that. But yes, you can still collect. You know, you're responsible paying your own MLS fees, and then you for MLS, like if it's $30, $25 at $40, and then you collect the 200, 300, we pay you directly when you close. So it's up to you, whatever you feel comfortable. We don't tell you what you should charge. You can charge 50, 100, 200. That has not changed.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Tyler, are you here?
Yes, good morning. I am.
Good morning. All right, I'm going to hand it over to you. Today's week 6, correct?
Correct. The last week of the
Yes.
6-week series that we set up, but we just announced this morning that Idona and I were gonna restart the series, tweak it probably just a tiny bit, but make it better for everybody. And we're gonna start up the new process, or the new schedule starting next Tuesday, 10 a.m. East Coast, 8 a.m. West Mountain Time. So
Perfect. Thank you so much, Tyler. I'm going to have Fred just make you the host, because I realized I did not sign as a host.
no
And
problem.
then I'll just let him know to go on and make you a host.
I appreciate that. I'll fill the time until he is able to make that change.
Awesome.
Yeah, no problem. So, all right. Well, good morning, everybody. Hopefully, you're having a good day so far. This polar vortex thing is kind of having some fun with us, isn't it? It's about 33 degrees here in Phoenix, which is not normal. But we'll take no snow. But actually, we could use some snow in the mountains. So for those of you in Jersey, if you're getting snow, please send some our way. I'm a skier, grew up skiing, and would love to get up to Flagstaff and zoom down the hill, hopefully at least once before the the heat comes. So all right. So what I normally do before these sessions is I post the contact information for myself and for product support. So I love helping, I love training on the platform, but I don't have access to really be able to fix a lot of things. So in the event there's something that just flat out isn't working, like your MLS listings aren't showing up, and just, if something just flat out doesn't appear to be right, product support is probably going to be your quickest and best resource. I'm happy to help, I investigate the issue and determine if it needs to go to that level or not. But when it comes to actually fixing stuff, product support is who you're going to need to reach out to. I've been with Remax for, 24 years now, I think. But I don't work for the corporate office. My father and I ran a franchise here in Scottsdale and Tucson since about 92, and then we joined the Remax Select Network back in August. And I've prided myself and really enjoyed doing tech training and supporting our agents. And Idona and Rob asked me to become more involved in the tech training within the group, which I'm super excited for. And yeah, so my contact information is in the chat log. The product support information is there as well. And then for those of you that are joining in for the first time, I am pasting in the YouTube link for the playlist of the previous 5 classes that I have done on the Bold Trail system. And as I just mentioned with Idona, we're going to be restarting the sequence of classes next week. So if you're new to Remax or new to Remax Select, or if you're just wanting to kind of get refreshed on what the system offers, starting next Tuesday, we'll be going through the process. I believe next Tuesday will be kind of a welcome to Bold Trail, making sure your account is set up correctly. You've got certain things filled out and turned on, and just kind of set yourself up for success. And then we'll get into the CRM a little bit as well. So today's session is going to be getting into the Bold Trail system, some of the additional features, tools, services, specifically the lead concierge platform and the open house app. And then depending on questions and timing, we might get into a property boost and some of the other things that are available to you within the platform that you may be curious about. My goal here is not to sell you anything, but there are some add-on services that are available to you should you want to add them into your business plan, your marketing budget, whatever you prefer. So I'm going to share my screen here. All right, hopefully everybody can see that. So we're in the Max Tech system. Now, for those of you, again, new to the system, new to Remax, the way to get into Remax Max Center, which will be your portal into the Remax Max Tech powered by Bold Trail, you go to remax.net, put in your email address and your password. There's a link at the bottom that'll tell you where to, actually I can back out, I think, and still keep myself logged in. Yeah, so right here where it says forgot username or password. If you're completely clueless on how to enter the system, that's okay. Just click on forgot username and password, and that should be able to allow you to get into the platform. And if you still have problems, this phone number here, the product support team, is going to be who you need to contact for assistance. Your staff and management should have the ability to identify what your remax.net email address is, but we do not have access to passwords, nor can we change them for you. So you absolutely have to click on forgot username or password if you want to get into the platform and you don't know how to get in. Once you are in Max Center, we're going to scroll down. What you're looking for is the platform Max Tech powered by Bold Trail app. If you don't see it, click on all apps over here on the right hand side, or you can click apps and tools here on the left, and that's going to bring up all the different tools that are available to you. And then you'll scroll down and click on the platform Max Tech powered by Bold Trail. For those of you that have been with us for a little while, just a reminder, KV Core, the name KV Core has been wiped out and replaced with Bold Trail. The system really is the same. It's always been, just a little bit of a tiny bit different of a look, and maybe some colors have been added and some a little bit of organizational things, but no services have been removed or pulled away or cut back. They're actually looking to bring more in, which is why they changed the name to Bold Trail. So that's a little bit of a history lesson for you there. So first, what I want to get into is the Lead Concierge program. Now, the Lead Concierge program is a way for you to receive leads that are generated by remax.com visitors that go to the website. They want information on a property that and they enter in their email address and phone number. Those leads are now being incubated by the team at Inside Real Estate and then being passed off to agents in the market of that property when the consumer has said, yes, I'm ready to talk to an agent or go look at homes or something like that. So there is a referral fee on those leads, and it's 30%, and that goes back to Inside Real Estate because they are contacting the consumer, doing the multiple points of follow-up. I think they will stay in contact with them for up to 2 years before they drop out. So I just want to reiterate that there is a referral fee, and these are on leads from remax.com leads, and it is not on leads generated by your listing, your website, your activities. Those are your leads, and the Inside Real Estate team does not touch those. It's only on other company listing inquiries through the remax.com website. So the way to get into the Lead Concierge program is over here on the left-hand side. You've got the More button. Okay, so you click on More, go to Marketplace. And then down here is where you're going to find all the kind of add-on services that Inside Real Estate, Bold Trail, KV Core offer. What you're looking for here is the Lead Concierge system. I may have just blown right by it. I got some stuff covering my screen here. Here it is, Max Tech Lead Concierge. Click on Lead More or Learn More, sorry. And then it basically tells you a little bit about what the program is, see all the features, scroll down. You've got a video that you can play, which actually I'm going to do that real quick. I think this is important enough for you to see here. By the way, in our office, we have had 3 leads closed, and we've probably got about 60 or 70 more that are being worked by the agents in our office. So this thing is a living, breathing, working platform. I will say that it don't just like any other internet lead, don't expect it to just be a $1 million buyer that's ready to sign a contract today. It does take a little bit of work to close these things, but there are good opportunities out there, and the price points vary. It just depends on your market and a few things. So So that's just a quick synopsis of what the lead concierge program is. Sign up, then you get into some agreements that you need to review and sign. And basically, what it's saying is that you know that there's a referral fee attached to these things. Nothing is guaranteed. But what's kind of nice about this is, unlike other lead generation platforms that are out there, they charge setup fees, they charge monthly fees, they got fees on fees on fees. This system, it's being provided to you. It's optional. You can opt in and out, and you only pay something when you close the deal. And again, that's a 30% referral fee that goes back to Inside Real Estate. So if you have questions about the platform, contact me, contact your manager, contact product support. We're all happy to help you. And again, the goal of this platform is to minimize the amount of blown lead opportunities that are out there. There's a lot of leads coming into remax.com, and due to algorithms, they get kind of forwarded out, and if people aren't available or paying attention or don't like internet leads, they just kind of get burned off, and the consumer doesn't get contacted, and they go somewhere else, which is, sucks. So they would rather keep the business in-house, and that's why this program has been put together. And for some of you that might have been around for a little longer, if you've ever heard of Boomtown, this program behind it is actually powered by the Boomtown team, which Inside Real Estate bought last year. So let's see, any other questions or comments or anything anyone has, you're more than welcome to unmute yourself or raise your hand or type in the chat. I mean, this is pretty cut and dry, but I just want to make sure we're all clear on this. And just again, reiterate, these are not, you're not paying referral fees on your leads. It's only on the remax.com generated lead opportunities. And it is an opt-in program. So if you want to be a part of this, you do have to go through this process to sign up. Carmen, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hi there, Tyler. Thanks for doing these awesome classes. I wanted to ask, if you do opt into that, is there like a criteria where they'll send you, the area that you work? Because I'd hate to sign in and then have to go to an area that's outside of, what I'm familiar with. So I just wonder if there's like a criteria that you can add, I'd like leads from this area or, anything like that.
I don't know if you can really whittle it down to specific leads. Like, you can't just say I want $1 million leads within a mile of my office. You'll get the lead opportunity, and they will look at what your service areas are on the Max Center profile. So if you go to Max Center, you click on your profile up here, go to update my profile, you can add your service area. So they're going to look there. I will say it's not a perfect system. So it is possible you could receive a lead for a property or client that is outside of your desired service area. And at that point, you would just need to message back to the people or decline the lead and just say, this is not an area I'm familiar or comfortable working. Thank you. As long as you reply to the opportunity, you should not be penalized. And I don't know what the algorithm is. I don't know if it's alphabetical or how they manage it, but it's supposed to be equitable distribution across all the participants in the platform. So you may get one lead, turn it down, and a week later get another lead. It might be a month, it might be 6 months. I don't know. We don't have control over that. So I would just make sure your service areas are up to date. And then when you're in the platform, basically if a lead has been assigned to you, you've accepted the lead, then all of a sudden the lead goes cold, or if there's a problem or something like that, you can make a note. So let's say this Denise Akin is one of my leads from the lead concierge program. I can go in here, click add note, and say this person has said they are not moving in the next 5 years. They want to be removed from my list. They don't want to be contacted again, things like that. Because the concierge team does have the ability to see the notes, and they would then see, okay, yeah, this person is a dead lead, or we need to reassign it to somebody 4 hours away in a different market because they're looking at a new area. So that's the way you would communicate with them, is via the notes. And again, just make sure your service areas are up to date. Make sure your profile within the Bold Trail system is up to date. Top right corner, my profile. Just make sure your information is complete. Click on edit. We've gone through this in previous sessions, so I'm not going to dig into it right now, but just make sure all of your information is up to date and you should be good to go. All right. It's a long answer to what should be a simple question, but it's important to make sure you're getting leads in areas that you're actually able to, service the client. So it's a great question. Thanks for asking. Any other questions from anyone? No? All right. Again, I'm looking at the chat and trying to stay alert to any questions that come through. So feel free to type them in there if you've got a question. All right. So what we're going to do here is we're going to get into the Bold Trail Open House app. Now this thing is really cool. The way to get to it first is through the download mobile app link on the home page of MaxTech. So click on download mobile app. And then you're going to see you've got two different mobile apps to choose from. You've got the MaxTech CRM mobile app, and then you also have the Open House one. Now, obviously, for today's purposes, we're going to download the Open House app. So if you're on iTunes, if you're an Apple person, you click on download on the Apple Store. Actually, what I like is the text me iOS link. It'll ask me to, it's got my phone number on file, and I click that and it'll just send me a link. Then I open it up on my phone and it'll allow me to download it. Same thing with the Android link. But make sure you're doing it. If you're going to download either the MaxTech CRM or the Open House app, you got to do it through this website, because if you try to just find it on your own through iTunes or the Google Play Store, you have a very, very high probability of not downloading the correct app. And then you're not going to be able to sign in. You're going to be irritated, frustrated, contacting product support, and they're going to tell you, well, you downloaded the wrong app. So make sure you download the right one, and you'll be good to go. So once you have the app installed on your phone, here's how we're going to do this. I got to share. Looks like my connection got lost. I've got a way to share my phone screen here. So bear with me for 1 second. There we go. Perfect. All right. So now everybody can see my Open House app on my device. Okay. So if you're holding an open house either for yourself or some other property, you have to type in the MLS number or the property address. So I've got a couple listings here. I'll just find a random one here. 13215 North 30th Place. Okay. Click start. It's going to look in the MLS and say, okay, which one do you want here? It didn't. Oh, that's right, because it's closed. I clicked on the wrong. That's my mistake. I whoopsed. I pulled up a closed listing, not an active listing. I was on the wrong spreadsheet here. So let's do this one. Let's do 34457 North Legend Trail. And you can put in the MLS number as well. I'm just putting in the address instead. Oh gosh, what's going on here? You know what? Let's just do another one for the property I was testing out earlier. So 36382 North 32nd, and then click start. There it is. All right, perfect. So now it says, whoops, there, we got to get on this screen. There we go. We're going to click confirm. So now when you've entered in the property, I want to make sure, what is the app called? It's the Bold Trail Open House app. You have to download it through the link on the Max Center website. You can't go into the Apple Store and find it. You'll have a very tough time finding it, Anna. So yeah, it is, I believe it is Remax Open House though. So once you have the property entered in, this is how you're going to set up the app. So it's going to automatically require the person's name and email address. Then you can turn on or off the phone number. You can make it required or not. Or you can have a question on the screen that says, are you currently working with a real estate agent? Do you have an exclusive buyer agency? And then where did you see this open house? So I don't know if you want to have a ton of questions. I mean, you can make these optional. So you can see how the phone numbers required or not. So you can have all those questions on there, just don't expect them to fill it out. But phone number, if you're requiring them to list a phone number, you'll need to turn that on. So let's just turn everything on, okay? Now, we would choose the image, so you can put a different photo on the app, if you will. And then listing price, bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage. And ideally, I should have said this before, but ideally you would have this app installed on a tablet and have it maybe at a display by the entry of the home, so that when people come in, they see this tablet. Maybe you've got some really nice high quality glossy property brochures, maybe some buyer guides, things like that, all prepared, ready at the front of the open house. But this app would be an interactive display for somebody to see when they enter the house. Or you can greet them and give them your phone and say, you know what, my sellers are very concerned about the security and privacy of their home and their property. They are requiring me to have everybody that enters the property sign in, and here's my phone. If you could just type in the information here, you can do that as well. Can it be done on the laptop? Only if you can install the app on your phone. Like if you have an emulator on your computer, that would allow you to do it that way. But unfortunately, the answer is no. This is not a website. It is an app for your phone specifically. So Carmen, it is not a laptop tool. It's a tablet / phone mobile device tool. Okay, so once you have selected your features here, it's going to bring up add custom hashtags. So what does this mean? So what we're going to do when we're done with this is we're going to set up a campaign so that all the people that have entered the open house and entered their information, they're going to get segmented based off of a hashtag, which is a way to categorize your contacts. And you can have 1,000 hashtags for in your system. So for this hashtag, we could call this open house 1, what's today, the 22nd, 2225. Okay, or we could put the property address. We could do a few things here. Okay, so I could even do what's this address that we had in here? I can't even remember, but let's just say it's like 35th place. Okay, so we can have all these different hashtags available on this property. Okay, and then when we click launch, it's going to create a pin. So this is how it protects itself from being exited out. So if you've got a tablet that's just kind of hanging out in the kitchen or by the front door, people can't just like back out of the program and turn it off or start surfing the web or doing something else with the tablet. So I'm just going to do 1111 as the code, 1111, and then we're going to click launch. So now this is what will be on the screen of the device. And then the person can come in and we'll just put in Billy testing. And then I'll put in just an email address I have access to. Whoops, Yahoo. Let's try Yahoo, shall we? There we go. Phone number 480-355-3505. Doesn't matter. Okay, so are we working with an agent? No. Do you have an exclusive? No. How did you hear about the open house? Online. Okay, great. And then submit. So this is what they're going to see. They'll have your photo, and this is pulling all of your information from the your profile in the Max Tech system. Okay, and then it resets itself to go back to the main screen where it's going to allow people to put in their information again. So it's not like you have to sit here and monitor the device at the open house. And again, if you're just welcoming people and then having them do it on your phone, you don't have to do anything. Just give it a 5 seconds to process the information, upload that contact information to your Max Tech Bull Trail contact management system, and then it will go right back to the screen. So now if you are done with your open house, or when you are done, you click exit and it'll ask you for that PIN. So again, we had set up the PIN as 1111, and then it's going to give me a summary of the number of people that came through the open house, the date. Okay, today is the 21st. I'm living in the future apparently. But the point being is you've got the information there. You can click on it and then it will tell you all of the people that came through. And if for some reason you need to relaunch that open house, click next, click next, click next, do your code. You can relaunch the open house to get back into the system. So let's see, Monica, you had asked, is that under the marketing tab for the download? No, it is
I
on
don't
the
see it.
Mac Center home screen. It's the first screen you see when you access the Bold Trail system. It's in the top right-hand corner. I'm going to come back in and show that to you now.
Okay, hang on.
So if I click on dashboard to get back to the main screen,
Okay.
it's not super obvious. It used to be a little bit more obvious in the previous rendition of KV Core, but it's up here underneath your photo in the top right-hand
Okay.
corner. And you have access to the mobile app, which is the CRM app, which we might get into here a little bit later, depending on
And
time.
then you do text the iOS link?
Whichever one you want. You can copy the link to your clipboard and then write it down and manually enter it into your phone.
Okay.
You can click that text iOS link. I prefer the texting option, but if for whatever reason those don't work, you would copy the link to your clipboard and then maybe just go up here, paste it in, and then you can manually type that into your phone if you have to as a long workaround for
Okay.
that. But
Thank you.
the text to iOS link should work for you, or if you're Android, same thing, use the text to Android link.
Okay.
So our open house is over. We're getting back to the office the next day, that afternoon, whatever. We want to start communicating with these people that have come through the open house. So we're going to go to contacts. And I got to click on my contacts because I've got a manager's account and I see way more than I need to for training purposes. So my contacts, and let's see. Oh, it hasn't uploaded yet. Normally it's right away. Of course it wouldn't be there right away. Okay. Well, here, let me go through, let me go to another place then. We'll come back to that in a minute. It may just take a few moments for the contact information for the open house participants to get uploaded to the CRM. So I'm going to click on the marketing tile over here on the left-hand side. And then we're going to go to smart campaigns, manage campaigns. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to make sure we have our open house campaign loaded in our account so that we can assign it to contacts. So if you don't see here, let's see, I got to do this because that's for the office. All right, boom, there I am. All right, now it's going to load all the campaigns that I have available to me. You'll see something similar to this when you sign in. You can type in open house. And then you're going to see different open house ones. You might only have one, you might have none. If you don't have any, what you do is you go to System Library. And then you can type in open house here. And I'm also going to show you how to edit an open house campaign as well. So, and I'll explain what that means here in just a minute. So let's say I want to add this open house to my library, but if I want to look at it first, I click on it. Now I can't edit anything here because it's just like in the library. It's just available to me. It's not actually being used. So here I can see there's about 14 or so touch points, text messages, emails, reminders to call, things like that are in here. And if I want to look at it, I click view, and that's what the text message would look like. Okay. So click close. Now, again, this is just for viewing purposes. Now, when you want to look at this, you come back. Now, Deborah, the way I got here, I'm just going to back up real quick for any of you that I've moved a little quick for. So on the left-hand side, click marketing, scroll down, click manage campaigns over here on the right-hand side under smart campaigns. And then I went to, first I can look for open houses under my campaigns, but if there's not one listed there, I click on System Library. And then I can find the different open house campaigns in here. So type in open house. For our office, we have 2 that are available. So let's say, yes, I want to add this to my library. So I click on add to my library, then I come back to my campaigns right up here at the top. And then I type in open house. And it's going to bring up a bunch of different open houses that are now in my account. So I'm going to click on this top one first. Let's just start there. Now, if I wanted to just start using this, let's see, I would need to actually come back in. I don't want to go there first. What I would want to do here is I might want to personalize this a little bit more for myself. So I'm going to click on clone campaign. It's going to be a hashtag. And this is when I can add in the hashtag for that for the leads that came in from my open house. So I think it was 122, then 25 is what I had as that one hashtag. And I could do the 35th place one as well. So when we come down, I want to click always run. And then I'll click next. Buyer, yes. Open house copy, I could call this 35th place if I want to be really specific about the campaign that I've created here. And then there's the summary of it. And now I can start editing the information in here. So let's say I don't want a reminder to email this person on day 7. I can just click remove it and click yes, remove. And then let's say on day 1, I want to personalize or customize the email that is going to that consumer. I can come in here, and it's a very basic editor for the email where you can type in your taglines, your whatever else you want to add in to that email that's going to be sent through the Bold Trail system to your contact. Now let's see, I'm going to pause here for a second. From Lisa, I have a question regarding relaunch. Does that wipe out your info, or do you? No, it does, because you're relaunching that open house. You're not changing the property or the parameters. It won't wipe them out. To the best of my knowledge, it won't wipe it out. It hasn't for me. So, and then Carmen, I had open houses this weekend. Should I add them using the app? You can, absolutely. Yeah, if you did an open house last year and you want to add in all the contacts, you've got their name, phone number, email address. Yeah, enter them in. Just know that they're going to start receiving, if you set up these campaigns and whatnot, they're going to start receiving information from you. So you just be aware if there's a little, for you was last week, that probably won't be too much of a surprise if they start receiving emails from you. But if you go back 6 months or something like that, it might catch them a little off guard and say, why are you messaging me? We bought a home 3 months ago through you. So just be careful. But yeah, you can manually enter in all the people from your open house. So if you're just like an old school sheet and pen and pencil person, then you want to enter all that in at the end of the day and not have to worry about apps and phones and tablets and things like that. Yeah, you can manually enter in all the information yourself. But yeah, just make sure you've got, enter it in correctly and it should work. So let's see. When you're done making changes, click Save Changes. And I've got some things blocking my screen here. So, and then kind of review what's going on here. Always run, it's scope, hashtag, just make sure everything looks right. If you want to add in an action, like if you want to add a reminder to, I don't know, send thank you text manually. So, you could do that, and then you want to do it one day after the open house, and then reminder to send thank you, and then click save, and whoops, let's see, text thank you. All right, and then there it is right there. Okay, so we added that in. Okay, so now coming back to all my campaigns. So we've got this open house 35th place campaign. Here it is down here. So then we can turn it on. So this is how you actually turn on and off your campaigns. If it's not a darker color, it's going to be turned off and it's not going to work. If I go to contacts, hopefully it shows up. Gosh, it's not going in. I wonder if something happened and it got loaded as a different contact. Yeah, I think it might just be taking a minute for it to load in. So that's all right. I'll show you what it's going to look like. So KV core test, under the actions, this, you would see the hashtags over here. You could even just manually add that hashtag to that individual as well. And active campaigns, you can click on add campaigns. You can do open house 35th place. You can manually assign it to the person, click add, and then that's how they're going to start receiving those campaign touch points, those 14 touch points. And here in the middle, you've got the timeline of all of what's happened with that contact. Now, we're kind of getting into some techie stuff. I mean, if nothing else, at least what you can do is get them into your CRM so you have a recorded log of these people. And then, I mean, you don't have to assign campaigns to these people. You may already have a system in place where you know what you need to do as when you're following up with an open house per guest. So, that's okay. This is not the Bible here. If you want more support on the open house app and what we've looked at here, I'm going to put it in the chat log. So I've always said that the support behind the Bold Trail platform is second to none. They've got a great website here that talks about the open house mobile app, how to use it, other little tips and tricks. And then you've also got the training that they offer on a weekly basis. So the actual trainers of KV Core, or I'm sorry, Bold Trail. I said the K word again. Another dollar in the KV Core jar. Let's see. I can find Max Tech webinars. So here's where all the different webinars are posted, and you can also get into. I'll put that in the chat log here. And let's see, where was the other? Let's see, it was back. Oh, that's right. It's under training calendar. So if I went a little fast for you, if I missed something, or if you want to kind of go over this again with, through a different process, you have a whole bunch of tutorials and webinars and things like that under the over here under more, under support resources, and then training learning path. You've got some items under there as well. So, but again, if nothing else, use the app to log the people that are coming into your open houses, so you're able to follow up with them. There's a lot of great dialogues out there. We are subscribers to David Knox and his training platform, and you might be a subscriber to Brian Buffini, Tom Ferry, Mike Ferry. There's a lot of great resources out there for you to follow if you're wanting to brush up on your open house skills. I know Rob has kind of mastered open houses and the what to say and when to say it with clients, so I know he would be happy to share some ideas with you as well. So let's see, Carmen, after you clone, where do you go to edit it? Okay, so I'm going to go back into the campaigns, smart campaigns, managed campaigns. Then I'm in my library and I'm just going to type in open house. So for these other ones, so that one I already cloned, but let's say I want to clone this one up here. I go to clone campaign. I go through the process of naming it, assigning it, different variables, whatever it is I want to do, which is what I did previously. I'm going to back out so I don't go through all that again. And then once you've done that, you'll get this screen that looks like this. And then you can click the edit, add, remove, add action. You can turn it on. You can do a bunch of things. But after you click clone, it's going to prompt you to fill out some fields, and then it will allow you to start editing the actual campaign itself. Now, I say this every time. If you don't have a secondary email address that you can use for testing purposes, I really encourage you to do so. Go get a Yahoo account, maybe a secondary Gmail account, Hotmail, MSN. I think you can get some different free emails through them, and set yourself up as a test contact in your CRM, and test all this stuff out. Play around with it, use it, and that way you know how this works, and you're not just kind of fumbling your way through if somebody's asking you, how does this work? Why do you do that? That sort of thing. Okay. Let's see. Getting into the marketplace here. So again, I'm not trying to sell you anything here. I get absolutely nothing out of this. Rob doesn't get anything out of it, but Inside Real Estate, they do have a team of people that have developed tools that cost some money to utilize to help boost your presence, your listings presence, do lead gen, for you services, things like that. So if you're not really tech savvy, but you love the idea of these campaigns and things like that, there's some do it for you services that are available to you. So I'm going to kind of hit through a couple of these that you might have interest in. And if you have questions, they have a support team that is happy to take those calls because there's obviously money behind them. I personally like the Property Boost because that is a way you can tell your sellers that, hey, I am promoting your property on Facebook and LinkedIn and generating leads, and they might even see it as well when you're boosting. So the Property Boost is right here. Anna, if you're asking for a 4-digit PIN, that is to set up a PIN number so so that a random visitor can't just sign out of the open house app. So you set the 4-digit PIN. If your favorite number is 1234, use 1234. It could be any 4-digit number. Just remember what it is so that you're able to go back in and update, do what you need to do within the back end of the app. So Property Boost is the one I like. Click Get Started, choose the listing. So you click here and you can enter in the MLS ID. Maybe you've got another agent in the office you partner with and you want to boost their listing. That's fine. You can do that. So I can type in 16010. Well, wait, I need the MLS number here. Let's do 6519327. Okay, so let's see, it did come up. Come on. 9, 3, there it is. Okay. We'll just click on this one. We say that's what we want. Click next. All right, what do you want? It's an open house, a new listing, price reduced, sold. We'll just say it's a new listing. Click next. And then here's where you get into the dollars and cents of the program. And this is where I'm going to stop because I don't want to spend money on this for demonstration purposes. So you can run an ad for 3 days, 5 days, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and the price on a per day basis essentially does go down as you are extending the life of that ad. And then you click next, and then it will start asking you for credit card information. And then at the end of that period, you will get an email saying, okay, your property's been viewed 150 times. You had 15 clicks on it. And you can actually take that email and print it off or forward it to your seller saying, okay, here's what happened with the advertising that I did for your listing. And I mean, you can utilize that information for pricing adjustments and things like that. So if you had 4,000 views, 1 click, you could say, look, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, obviously something is not right here. People got turned off by your property once they saw the ad or something, or maybe they didn't like the price. So maybe we need to start talking about that. I will say in the chat logs that or the Facebook groups and things that I've looked at, the lead generation systems can be hit or miss. I mean, that kind of is the way it goes with any online lead gen. You got to be really diligent about follow-up in order to make these things work, and they can be pricey. So if you are into online lead generation, I would say give it a shot if that's something that interests you. definitely qualify how they're generating the leads. We've got some new laws going into effect next week, as the one-to-one contact laws for automated calls and text platforms. So some of these might get a little stunted by these new laws that are coming out. So just any lead generation system you have right now, if they're using auto dialers or auto texters, if you haven't already been kept up to speed with them as to what they're doing to manage these new laws, you probably want to reach out and make sure your money's not getting wasted. So let's see, handwritten postcards. I mean, there's some neat stuff here, but done for you services. This is where I just mentioned, if you like what's going on here, but you don't feel like you've got the tech savviness, or you don't have the time or interest to do this all on your own, you can enlist the Inside Real Estate team to set up campaigns. So you can say, hey, I want them to set up a campaign for all my open houses that I've done. So you can use them for setting up these types of things. So situational campaigns, they can also help you with setting up newsletters and blogs and things like that. And the cost depends on what it is, how much, and how many people you want to touch and things like that. So I don't think it is just a flat fee. It really just kind of depends on what it is you're wanting help with, and then they'll kind of a la carte price it out for you. So let me go back a little bit. And where we found that was it was done for you services right here in the middle. Okay. Let's see, what are the new laws? That's a big question. So basically, starting January 26th, I believe it is, consumers have to give permission to a company to be included on an automated dialing system or automated texting system. So like the Mojo, the RedX systems, these platforms that just are, and this is not a real estate industry related law. This is a consumer across the nation. Every industry is being affected by this. I did have a link here saved. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. So, it is good information to have. I just don't know if I'm going to be able to find it really quick. So let's see, Gary, Island, law text. I'm going through my email here on my other screen. Bear with me for 1 second. NAR actually is putting out they're doing a webinar next week on this topic. So let's see, here we go. Let's see if I can get this to view in browser. Okay, so I'm gonna send you a link of what I've sent out to our agents here in Arizona last week. So there's some information there, and I'll give you the link to the, oh gosh, I don't know if I can give you the link to the NAR webinar that's going to be next week. Let's see here. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but yeah, unfortunately I can't. Yeah, it's not letting me pull it up. So let me try NAR texting law webinar. Okay, here we go. So this is right from the NAR website. So again, it's the 27th, January 27th is when this all takes effect. So I'll bring it up on my screen here. So if you're utilizing services to generate leads for you and they're automated, there's a lot of money involved in this. I'm sure there's going to be ways to work around this, but it's just definitely a big monkey wrench in these platform systems. And there it is. They're registered for the webinar. And I did post that in the chat log. So yeah, it's a problem. But I mean, we all get these robo texts and robocalls all day, every day. The goal is to cut back on those. So I get it. It just kind of hurts our industry a little bit. And what it really means is we've got to start being more diligent about making calls to our existing database, texting them point to point, and not relying on automated systems to do it until we get permission from the person to be included on an automated platform like that. So I'm going to go back into my notes here. We got just a few minutes. Let's see. Oh, here's what I'll do. We'll go to the home app. So let's see here. Hang tight. I'm going to bring up the easy share start. We're going to do share one app, and we're going to do the home app. So this is what the home tool looks like. So wait, on your when you have the actual CRM app on your phone, this is what it looks like. So you have the ability to do some different things here. So you've got marketing autopilot. You can do some very basic marketing. So click on this. You can schedule mass emails. You can set up birthdays reminders to be sent, home anniversary reminders. You can do that there. Lead engine. You can create some basic lead generation tools here as well. I like the CMA builder. So this is just a quick and dirty market report for a property. So let's just do this really quick. Testing. And then property address, I'll just use a rental that I have, 2670. No, here, North 79th, that's fine. Click save. Building CMA might take 30 seconds. So this is, again, super broad, super wide data. It's not going to be a perfect CMA. If you want a perfect CMA, you need to go into the present tool in order to do that. And I'll show you how to get there when we're done. But this is how this will come up. So we're going to click email CMA, and I'm just going to send it to myself. I've already got myself built in as a contact. So where am I? There I am. Perfect. And I can put in some different information here. I can plug in my signature, click send. Whoops, I gotta actually click on it. There we go. Click send. Now it's going to email it to me. And I'm going to bring up my email real quick, and you will see what the CMA looks like. I'm going to exit out of this. I'm going to bring up the email. And this is what the CMA email looks like that I just sent to myself. In this case, I'd be sending it to a client, and here's the information about that property. It gets like a Google Street View photo, shows you what's going on in the market, and looks like this report's only about 3 pages long. But we did that from the app on our phone, which is super cool, right? You don't have to log into your laptop, get Wi-Fi, like all that nonsense. You can just do it right from your phone. So I'm going to back up a little bit here, and I'm going to show you where to get to Core Present, which is the more detailed CMA tool that you can run. So I went to marketing over here on the left, and then under present here in the middle, click get started. And that's where you can start doing buyer property tours, seller valuation tools, things like that. I can click on get started, and actually we covered this, I believe, is last week. So in that link at the very top of the chat, the playlist of all the videos that I've recorded for you, you can go see the presentation that I put together last week. It's right here. I'll move it down the chat again so you can have it right here. There we go. So if you click on that YouTube link, it'll take you to the videos, and you want to do the one that's buyer and seller presentations. So win the listing, win the representation, buyer tour, win the offer, so on and so forth. And then if I go to contacts here, we should start seeing some of these things pop up, but yeah, it hasn't come up yet. So it's just taking a minute for the app to sync with the CRM online. So and then last but not least, where to get the app that I was just on, the actual mobile CRM app. It's the same place you go for that open house app. Click on download mobile app up here in the top right hand corner. To get here, we're on the dashboard. So we're at the main home screen of Bold Trail. Click download mobile app. And then you've got the link for the mobile app here. And then as we were looking at before, you've got the open house app link down here. So I think that's the extent of what I am going to dig into today, but I am not in a rush to get out of here. So if you have a question, you can raise your hand, unmute yourself, type in the chat log, and I'll be happy to dig in, whether it's regarding the open house app or something else that is in the Bold Trail system. I'll do my best to help. So got to take a sip of my Go Juice. It is coffee, not beer, I promise. What is Vulcan? Vulcan is an automated dialing system that targets FSBOs, it uses public records to identify people that are probably going to be likely to sell. So maybe people that are coming up on foreclosure, they're going through a divorce. What are some of the other life-changing events that are public data? Though I think those are the main ones. I've never used Vulcan myself, but Vulcan, Mojo Dialer, Red X, they're all kind of the same type of tool. Just like cars, there's different ways. I'm sure there's little differences between each of them, but yeah, they're automated dialers, and yeah, they just call people until they pick up, and then they connect you with them. You generally would have a headset or something, and have a dialogue to engage these people that the system has contacted on your behalf, essentially. Stephanie, one of my favorite agents in Tucson. Good morning. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Good morning. Question.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should know this, but so I was trying to text myself the apps, not getting them. So I went and clicked on my picture on the top right-hand side.
Okay.
And the number it shows there is not a number I recognize.
Okay.
But then when I
So
go into my profile, it's my number.
right. Okay. So the number up here is what is called the office smart number. So it's a number that is assigned to the office. For the Tucson office, they've got their number. For the Scottsdale offices, we've got our own number. But it's basically the number that is used to communicate with the contacts, so that when they message back, they're able to cross-reference the caller ID and match it to the contacts within your CRM. So that way they stay connected to you. So it's a technology thing that has to be in place in order for the system to adequately connect the system with your contacts.
Okay.
You do have the ability to go get your own smart number. I think it's like $25 a month. So if you're really going to get into the system and hammer it, and you want to be doing a ton of texting and calling and all this stuff from within the platform, it might be advantageous to have your own smart number, but ultimately that's the number going out. And as for why it didn't text it to you, I can't answer that question. You could click on this chat bubble down in the right-hand corner and communicate with support, say, hey, I didn't get the link, and they may be able to look into why it didn't get sent to you. Now, the chat bubble is actually a great way to communicate with the support team, especially if you're not in a hurry, because you just kind of go into the queue, and then you will actually communicate with a live human being, and they'll assign you a ticket number if it needs to be escalated. So that bubble down in the right-hand corner is how you can communicate with the support team at Bold Trail. Okay?
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. There was another hand raised. Go ahead and unmute yourself, please. I couldn't tell who it was. I apologize.
Hello, it's Deborah Gibbs. I
Yes.
do have Redx. I had just signed up. So when I'm doing my geo calling, that's gonna now be a huge problem.
Based off of what I know so far, and I would definitely not call myself a professional on the case. I'm not an attorney. I haven't sat in on any of the litigation or anything like that. I just know what has been sent out to, like, via NAR, and my observation is yeah, it definitely is going to throw a wrench in those platforms. Now, those are million dollar companies that are affected by this. So I'm assuming they found ways to adapt and adjust to it. So I would contact them directly to say what's the plan, and they'll tell you. I don't have contacts at Vulcan or RedX or Mojo or anybody like that. So
I'm finding it crazy because I'm a director for Florida State and I haven't gotten anything.
yeah,
on
it's again, I may be misreading, reading into this too far, or I may be off base. I don't think I am. So that NAR link that I said, put
Yeah.
right here, I would encourage you. I think that's on Tuesday of next week at 10 a.m. Arizona or noon Arizona time, 2 o'clock East Coast time.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would be a part of it. But again, they've got to know that this is happening, and they probably have more than one person asking them what's going on. So the fact that they haven't sent anything out to you kind of makes me wonder what's going on and how they're
That's
adapting. But
weird.
yeah, I mean, you're
And
being
I'm also on RPAC, and for RPAC, this is something that, oh, by the way, for all of you on here, give to your RPAC because this is how we pay the attorneys to fight things that
like
come
this.
against us. So at least give your fair share. Sorry, I had to do my little plug.
It's a very valid point. Thanks for speaking up.
Well, it is, because if this does go somewhere, we are going to have somebody help us to fight it, not individually. And that's where the money comes from. So
Right.
sorry. Thank you.
No, you're fine. It's absolutely true. I mean, people, yeah, there's without getting into politics and NAR rhetoric and what's going on there. The money we do pay, like you said, through NAR dues and RPAC, and they're lobbyists for helping us in the real estate industry. I mean, there's definitely some arguments to be made that they could be doing more, they're not doing enough, or they're doing the wrong things, but that's not for me to get in.
Well, in Florida,
Everybody's got their own opinions on it, right? So
one of the things RPAC did was they stopped them from taxing our commissions.
yeah,
That's
same
what they
thing in
want.
Arizona. Yep. So I put that link to the webinar in the chat. So for any of you that are using or thinking about using automated systems to generate leads. Now this is for calling and texting. It does not have anything to do with email. It's strictly for calling and texting services. So you can still blast email people and just make sure you have the unsubscribe link in there, because that is God, I forget what the title of that law is, but yeah, that this doesn't have any effect on emailing. It's just calling and texting. So yeah, let's see what else. Any other questions, comments? Like I said, this is being recorded. It will be posted on the YouTube channel. We're going to start this up again next week on Tuesday, 8 a.m. Arizona time, 10 a.m. East Coast. And if you want to restart the series, learn a little bit more, get refreshed, that's fine. Don't forget, on the left-hand side of the Max Tech Center system, you've got all the support resources, training paths. If you haven't utilized these services or at least looked at them, I would encourage you to do so, because this platform services about, well, I mean, all of Remax gets it, but there's other companies and agents that are paying for this as well. So they've got a commitment to making sure people know how to use their platform and supporting it. So don't be bashful. Test them out. Where do you go for the quick CMA? So that is through the mobile app, which again, you get through right here, the Max Tech CRM app. And I'll bring it back up on my phone here. It's going to take me a minute to do this, so give me just a moment. I got to share my stuff again. Easy past. There we go. Start next. All right. So hopefully you can still see my screen here. I'm going to minimize this just a little bit. Okay. Yeah, everybody can still see it. That's good. So here I am in the Max Tech app. And on the top left-hand side, next to inbox, or we call this the hamburger menu, you tap on that. and then it is under lead engine, and then it's CMA builder right in the middle there, and then you just enter in the basic information for that property and that person, and you can't select your comps. I mean, if you notice, it just kind of throws together the basic information that's available via the MLS and public records. And if you want to do a more refined CMA where you're selecting properties and adjusting your comps, you'll have to do that from within the present system. So any other questions, comments? Hopefully I haven't gone too crazy here. There's a lot of content in here, but I mean, look at the value you're getting out of this platform. I mean, this thing is like $800 a month if you were to go up and try to sign up for this on your own. And yeah, there's some other companies around the country that are offering this to their agents, but I believe almost all of them, all they're offering is the CRM. They're not offering Present and Design Center and the Open House app. I mean, all these things are additional cost items that you would have to pay for. So if you've ever said, what am I getting out of Remax? Holy crap. Look at this thing. It's a monster. You can get lost in this thing. But I mean, there's a tremendous amount of value to what is being provided to you just from the system here. Not getting into talking about the value of the brand and things like that. I talked to an agent yesterday. He was walking through Costco, had his Remax hat and shirt on. He had 2 people stop to talk to him about real estate because they saw his Remax gear. If you're hiding the fact that you're with Remax, yeah, you're not going to get leads like that. It's impossible. How would they know? I mean, in Arizona, they pull, when you get pulled over, they are more likely to ask you for your real estate license than they will your driver's license. But you know, they can't tell you're a real estate agent by looking at you. So yeah, wear that Remax balloon or badge or name badge, or I mean, it's super simple to get this stuff off of like Markful or oh gosh, go to the marketplace. I can show you really quick. If you want Remax gear, the easiest way to find Remax gear is go to apps and tools. We're in Mac Center here. And then you're going to go to the marketplace. And I may have already blown right by it. I don't think I did. Yeah, right here, marketplace. And if you don't see it again, click apps, tools, or show all apps, go into marketplace. And then here's where you can find all of the different companies that Remax has alliances with that make all kinds of stuff. Office solutions. I mean, if you can get into tech tools and discounts and things like that, but promotional apparel. So you've got Markful Deluxe. Deluxe is the company I was thinking of. They've got a huge variety of shirts, hats, bags, badges, all kinds of stuff with the Remax logo on it. So if you are out in the marketplace, you know, going to your kids' games, you're involved in your community, doing different, you know, charity work, whatever, wear the Remax brand, man. If you're not, you're missing out on some opportunities, I promise you. Yeah, so I mean, please wear the Remax brand. I've got my little Remax shirt on here. You probably can't see it, it's kind of small, but bundled up here in the office, a little chilly today. So anyhow, we're well over our time. Appreciate you hanging in there with me. If you have any other questions, you can type them into the chat now, or again, I'll copy and paste my information one last time for you, along with product support, so you have access to that. I've got an online calendar, so if you have a specific question or concern you'd like me to spend 15-30 minutes going over with you, I'm happy to do that. Just click on my calendar link there, and you can book a time with me. I'm in Arizona. If you need to meet earlier in the day, I'm an early riser. I can help you. So don't be shy. If there's a time that works well for you, but it's not available on my calendar, shoot me a note and maybe I can adjust it to make it work for you. I love helping the agents, and I love helping answer questions, fixing things, and yeah, utilize me as much as you like. So you're very welcome. Thank you to all of you typing in. Thank you. I appreciate you being a part of this. Obviously, I assume you're getting some value out of this. I'd love to hear about some of the success that you have with this. So if you use the Open House app, you've done a presentation, you're using Design Center. If you've had a win come as a result of that, I'd love to hear about it. So, all right, everybody. Do we have a calendar on here? So for the Max Tech trainings, if you go to more, and then you've got support resources and training calendar down here. If you click on that, you'll see all of the training that is available to you and in the time zone that you're in. So I'm in Mountain Standard right now, and this is all the different training that is available to you on the Bold Trail platform. If you're on the East Coast, there's that. If I start clicking on this, it might link to my calendar and kind of look goofy, so I'm not going to get into this, but I believe if you just click on one of these, it should take you to a place where you can register. So for us and clients, I don't know of any training on the platform for clients because this is not a client-facing system. So really, you're pushing information out to the client and they're just digesting it. There really isn't, to the best of my knowledge, any training that is geared towards clients. But Deborah, if online you want to talk to me about what it is that you're looking for to help your clients, I could maybe steer you in the right direction or answer some of those questions for you. So for agent training, what you're looking at right now is probably your best resource. But for client training, there's not anything I'm aware of. But again, I'm happy to help answer questions. Call me, text me, email me, set up a time to meet with me. I'll be happy to go through those with you, Deborah. Not a problem. Okay. Sue, you're welcome. Thanks for tuning in again. Appreciate you being on here. All right. Very good, everybody. All right. Well, I'm going to stop sharing my screen so you can look at my big mug on your screen. And those of you that are wondering what I'm hiding in the background, let's see if I can turn that off. Background, none. Yep, that's my background right there. Very feng shui, isn't it? So anyhow, yeah, we've got limited space in the office, so when I work, I'm in our tech room helping agents out. So I'd rather have them have private offices than me. So that's why I kind of hide out in this ugly room. So anyhow, all right, everybody, great seeing you. Hope you have a great day. Use the tools. If you have questions, comments, problems, whatever, contact me. I'm happy to help you. Your management team at your offices, I know they're happy to help you as well. And yeah, let's all get out there, be visible, be present, help people. I mean, that's what this business is all about, is helping people realize their real estate dreams. And yeah, go make it a great week, everybody. Stay warm. See you next week. Take care, everyone. Thanks.